Hi, I'm Sal, and I'm with my friend Mark. And today we've got another podcast about some of the challenges that we are facing today. We're going to share our thoughts and hopefully a few tips that could be really useful. And today's theme that we thought would be helpful is about resilience and being resilient and resilient in this time of difficulty, time of change, and time of uncertainty. So we've got three key areas we're going to cover. We're going to be fairly quick and brief and punchy and try and give some examples for you. But the first one we're going to dive in is probably one of the deepest. So, Mark, hey, our first point, of course, we were talking before the podcast, but would you like to share your thoughts on our first area, which, of course, we're saying about dealing with previous adversity? And of course, you know that all too well, don't you?
Yeah. We spoke about previous adversity and other challenges, difficulties that we sometimes forget about in our past that we've overcome before. And with the right mindset, you can kind of think back and maybe you're not going to overcome this in a similar way, but you are going to overcome it, and you can draw strength from those experiences in the past. And it could be big life events. I mean, I spoke about when my father died, and kind of getting through that, getting over that, and then thinking at the end, well, I can I can pretty much get through anything now. I can get through that. I've got that kind of bulletproof vest almost that gives you a bit of extra resilience. And then as well, if you think about your physical training, for me, martial arts, for yourself, yoga and CrossFit. And if you think about that in the right way, then well, every lesson you go to, every class you go to, every training session you do on your own, you're challenging yourself and you're overcoming those challenges, and both physically and mentally you're overcoming everything that's put in front of you in the class, and you're making yourself more resilient. So if you think about your daily practice that way, then you can really gain strength from that, and you can rely on that in times like this, which are a bit more troubled.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, thanks for being really honest and candid about the loss of your father, which of course is very difficult to lose a loved one and to go through those. And if anyone listens to has been listening to the podcast has been through that, then of course it's a sensitive issue. But if you've managed to come through difficulty, and that could be anything from a loved one passing on, it could be from business issues, relationship issues, it could be all sorts of things that somehow you've kind of got through, then it's important and very helpful just to draw back on that, not to dwell, but to draw and go, actually, yeah, I got through that. That was really tough. But I found a way. And if you can find a way there, you can find a way now. So that's one of the key points of sort of remembering adversity and remember that you got through. And as Mark rightly says, I can think of there's a time I've carried a sandbag that's ridiculously heavy or some weights, and I've not wanted to do it. I'm like, I don't want to do this. But actually, it's helped create strength in the body. But pushing through that challenge then is a similar metaphor. And actually, training is of course that very powerful way of helping us skill up, strengthen up, and find a way to bounce back, because that's what resilience is for me. It's about getting through the difficulty and then bouncing back afterwards. So that's the key point number one. Remember, adversity and any kind of training, if you've got through before, you can get through again. Second thought is really about self-care, self-mastery. So Mark, do you want to share your thoughts on that, please?
Yeah. Well, we spoke about eating well, sleeping well, and having movement as a big part of your day. So I think Karina's kids are probably getting fed up with me with chasing them around with vitamin tablets and telling them to go to bed and putting vegetables in their diet. How cruel of me. But yeah, I mean, I know myself, I've really watching those things, particularly on moving, I do anyway, but certainly eating well, sleeping well, just for mind and body, just really making you, again, bulletproof, give you resilience.
Yeah, really nice description. And you're right. We function really well if you feed the body well with good nutrition, good food full of vitality, lots of bright colours and vegetables, and good healthy foods. If you sleep, your body repairs, your cellular repair happens, your brain recalibrates, that sort of stuff. And if you move, bearing in mind that we're probably quite sedentary right now because of the lock-in situation, but absolutely. And that movement could be just going up and down the stairs 20 times. If that's, whatever it is you can do, doing something rather than nothing is always way forwards. And if your chosen choice is dancing or it's yoga, it doesn't really matter. As long as it's the body's moving, then you're absolutely right. The elements come together to make a sort of self-care system. We will be much more capable and resilient if we are well slept, well fed and moving, compared to if we're tired and drained and just not on best form. So it's about kind of building those pieces up to, again, just kind of help become a little more resilient. So that's the sort of second thing. Self-care, keep basics taken care of, attend to those, and that will really help. And our third point, so Mark, third point, we were talking about the sort of fusion between East and West, which you and I both have so much closeness to, and even yoga and martial arts, and really about the more, well, it could be a mindful thing and it can be quite a spiritual thing, but presence. So do you want to share your thoughts from your side of that?
Yeah. I mean, for me, I think presence is not getting too caught up in the situation and letting my imagination wander and thinking, today, my income's dropped by such and such percent, and then you get carried away on those thoughts, and then you lose your resilience. A lot of people are having a lot of stuff really going badly, and I think, for myself, I can think, okay, I'm kind of lucky at the minute. I'm okay. I'm doing okay. Things aren't going too badly. So I think it's a case of being grateful as well for what you've got. And just being aware, not getting carried away, not getting caught up in the situation. Sure, a lot of bad things are happening, but then unless you're very, very unlucky, then a lot of good things are happening as well. So just having that awareness and thoughts along those lines rather than getting a little bit carried away.
Yeah, absolutely. Anchored in the present is something I always remember from a sort of spiritual teachings I've had. And that's as simple as just paying attention to your body, paying attention to like sounds around you and what's going on in your room and your day right now, because there are lots of terrible things happening right now and lots of very difficult stories, and it's easy to be consumed by particularly the news at the moment. Of course, the news right now is feeding all the negative stuff because that's what's going on, and it can be very damaging. It can be quite an overload. So becoming present, which is if right now you're in a house and you're all right and you've just got enough money to keep going, or if you've run out of money but you've got options, what have you got? So it's not an overly positive and unrealistic view. It's really about accepting what is, but staying really present with your own reality, because that's the one you have choices over. So and anchoring in the present. The future is not yet come, as they often say in yoga, and that's really all about anxiety. It's fear of the future. Right now, if right now you got some food, you got a few quid in the bank, you got choices, you can move, your family's okay, or staying fairly okay, then anchor into that, and it's a really helpful thing. And of course, being able to be present keeps you away from all that catastrophizing and all the worry stuff that you've just said, Mark, and helps build resilience, build that sort of stuff rather than deplete it. So there are our thoughts for how to be a little more resilient and deal with the challenges that we're all facing. As always, we'd love your comments and thoughts and how you get on. If you've got your own experiences, that would also be great. So share them on the various platforms that this podcast is on. And we wish you well, and we'll catch you again soon. Thank you.
Yeah, guys. Thank you.